The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to another edition of Service Matters, a weekly radio show that talks about the good things that happen in local communities and beyond. We also talk about the good things that people do, and we're going to talk to a few people today that do just that and how impressed we are. You're listening to WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. And of course, we are indeed a Cumulus station. You can hear us on AM 630 or FM 99.7. We're so happy that a local community access television outfit will be covering this show, both from Easton as well as Sharon. I'm Dave Clifton. I'm happy to be the host of this show, and I've been doing this for 15 years. My vehicle automatically drives to Providence on Fridays for this show. And I've been trying to get a couple of guests that join me today to come on the air with me. And I guess it finally happened here in 2024. It's not too often that you can get a congressman to join us because they're such a busy group, and especially around election time. My guest today, Congressman William R. Keating. He comes from the 9th Congressional District. He was born and brought up in Norfolk County in Sharon, Massachusetts. His daughter joins me today in the studio here in Easton, Massachusetts. We call it ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. And of course, I knew him from years back. I saw him when he grew up. And I saw all the good things that he did as a youngster. Believe it or not, he used to work in the post office in Sharon. He at some point became a state representative, a state senator, the district attorney of Norfolk County, went on to become a congressman, and had someone say to me the other day that he wished he was running for president. That's the kind of guy William R. Keating is. And we've seen quite often all the good things he's done. Thank you so much, William R. Keating, for joining us here on WPRO.
Well, thank you, David I. Clifton, for doing the same.
Well, we get our middle.
You don't have to be that formal, Dave.
We're also happy to have your daughter joining us, Kristen Keating.
It is great. Now, you knew when she was born. You knew the era when she was born.
I knew her, and I knew Patrick.
Yeah.
Your son.
Yeah, you came over the house. Kristen doesn't remember this, obviously, but you actually came over the house just like a week or so after she was born.
And it was terrific. I think we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I didn't.
But I'll tell you what a difficult job you have during these trying times. And of course, this is a positive show that only talks about good things. And I say to people that come on the show, it's a chance for me to pat them on the back, to salute them. But we got two scenarios today, and we got a third one coming on later. A gentleman who owns the oldest house here in the town of Easton. Can you imagine, Bill, dating back to 1717?
My God.
Your daughter has been a highlight in the real estate business, and she just by looking at her, it makes you want to buy a home. But the fact is that you, Bill Keating, what a wonderful job you've done with your family, and what a wonderful job you're attempting to do with this country. And I know that you represent the 9th Congressional District, a lot of communities leading down to the Cape, and you got the Abingtons, and you've got a lot of communities not too far from Easton and Sharon. Tell us a little bit about your district.
Well, Dave, it's changed over the years. As a matter of fact, whether it was state representative, state senate, district attorney for Norfolk County, or being a member of Congress through two different redistrictings, it's certainly, I think I've covered about a third of Massachusetts one way or another, including Easton, where you are now as a state senator. And it really is is and was, for those communities I represented prior to this, an opportunity to just meet so many great people, learn more about the communities. And the listening area now that you're speaking with, I've represented most of it. The current district goes close to Rhode Island, including Westport. It goes to the city of New Bedford, all the cities along the coast that go there, the entire part of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and then goes all the way up to the South Shore, all the way up to Cohasset in the South Shore. And then in the interior area goes to areas like Bridgewater, Raynham, Middleborough, and everything. The town of Plymouth is a large community that I represent. So I'm here in the town of Bourne now, looking out the window and seeing the Cape Cod Canal and beautiful Cape Cod. So it's
A beautiful place.
an amazing opportunity, Dave, for representing the people that I have represented, well over 1 million people.
I was told, Congressman Bill Keating, that one of your best jobs growing up, I was surprised you didn't say Congress, but you did say being a waterfront employee with the town of Sharon, Massachusetts. I happen to know that, and what a terrific guy you were growing up. And I say that because I was your first boss.
It was amazing. Those that know Sharon, there's a beautiful Lake Massapog in Sharon. And I had the opportunity, which was a lot of fun, of being the gate guard in Sharon during the summer. Sometimes the unenviable job of telling people, unless they have a sticker for their car or a beach tag, that they can't get in, but also getting to meet a lot of people. And indeed, I worked for the Recreation Department, which you were the head of. How many years, Dave?
40 years.
40 years, the head of Recreation. We did so many things ahead of your time there. What I enjoyed doing was working a summer in the greatest natural resource we had in that community. But you did so many things with seniors, started Sharon Seniors on the Go, real generational work that was so much fun. And since the purpose of this show is to look at some of the good things, you can't sit there and not have smiles on your face thinking about some of the productions, the theater productions we did for the Seniors on the Go, some of the work we did with charity, some of the work you did with so many young people. Kristen was, as I mentioned, just a young infant during those years, but got to go through the town of Sharon and grow up there and enjoy some of those things. So it is fun to look back over half a century. It comes with a blink of an eye, it seems.
I wanted to come back to, if I can, Congressman, but I did want to ask Kristen, who lives in the town of Easton, Mass, where we have ECAT hosting today's radio show. What is it like working in the real estate industry?
It's wonderful. Being able to help people cross a bridge from point A to point B. It's a joy.
I've heard some terrific things about you, people who have actually purchased houses from you, and you have given it the undivided attention. So folks out there, if you're interested in buying a home, make sure you contact Kristen. She's terrific.
Thank you, Dave.
And Congressman Bill Keating, I noticed that you have Sharon colors on today, but I did want to ask you in terms of some good things that are happening in Congress. I know we're getting near election time, and I know people are going to vote for the candidate of their choice. I know where you're coming from, Bill, as a staunch Democrat, but what are some of the good things that happen in Congress that make life easier for lots of people?
I'm glad you asked that, Dave, because it seems that in this campaign, and in too many campaigns, people are looking at issues that divide people. But there's so many issues that we don't talk about. And what comes to mind to me, importantly, and part of my district I represent now, 40% of the people that live on Cape Cod are over 60 years of age. So outside of Florida, I have one of the oldest by age, by number, demographics in the entire country. And what's really important to so many people is their health care. And one of the things that I've found, and I think you can go through any community and find this, is the cost of prescription drugs. So many people are in a position where they're taking so many prescription drugs, the co-payments are expensive, some of them aren't covered, and the out-of-pocket expenses are enormous. And some people are having to decide, should I take the prescription drugs the doctor asked me to take, or should I spend it on groceries? And we have done a breakthrough job over the last 2 years that people are going to start to feel the effects of on cutting the cost of prescription drugs. The people on Medicare now will have out-of-pocket costs that do not go over $2,000 for all their drugs. Now, some people are paying that much a month. So this is a tremendous financial relief for those people. The people that have diabetes and need insulin, they were paying several $100s a month, some people, for insulin, just to make sure they live healthy lives. That's cut to $35. So we're seeing that kind of cost reduction that really helps people where they're dealing with the cost of groceries increasing and so many other things. And that, along with access to healthcare, there's 45 million people now who have the Affordable Care Act that didn't have health insurance before. And so these are huge breakthroughs that we've had, as well as community health centers that have been efficient and reduced the cost. So I would say when I'm looking at the things that affect people daily in their lives, that we've done an awful lot for, the cost of prescription drugs, the cost and access to healthcare have been a center point.
Thank you, Congressman. I know that when I think back many years ago, your dad was the veterans agent in the town of Sharon, Massachusetts. And here you are on the Armed Forces Committee at Congress. He certainly would be very proud of you. I know he was when you served as a state rep, a state senator, and of course the district attorney in Norfolk County. I wanted to ask you, Kristen, what is it like? I know you probably hear your dad's name mentioned a lot when they find out that your dad is a congressman, and you got a very special mother as well, and your brother Patrick. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I know he's much taller than I am now. But what is it like to be the daughter of a congressman? Any different?
Well, I don't know any different, but it's been an inspiration to watch my dad do what he does for a living, climb the ladder politically. He's truly my greatest source of inspiration.
That's terrific.
Well, Dave, you mentioned veterans too. That's, you know what? There's no greater joy than hearing your daughter or son say that, by the way. But you mentioned veterans, and you have that connection with your family. And one of the things we did on the good news side is something called the PACT Act. It was the major, most significant veterans legislation we've had in several decades. And all those veterans that suffered through burn pits and being exposed to toxic elements, we had them calling our office, for years, and they couldn't get coverage for, what really happened to them serving our country. And now there's a breakthrough with this bill, and over 1 million people have called just in a short period of time for that kind of coverage, for their exposure to toxic, chemicals that are there only because they were serving their country.
Hats off to the red, white, and blue, the American flag. We're going to take a short break. I'm Dave Clifton. You're listening to WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. Hurry back, folks.
Hello, welcome to Easton News. I'm Abby Kitchenham.
And I'm Jack Ryan, and together we bring you everything you need to know about Easton, including politics.
The annual town election is scheduled for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023.
Community events.
Be Inspired. Counseling presents a parent and child coping workshop centered around a new year and new beginnings.
and sports.
Pressure builds diamonds, so we live by that every day of practice, going into every game.
With APCSM guest segment Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Katie with the Animal Protection Center, and today we have a little Iris.
With help from special correspondent Wyatt Fain. Join us
For Easton News.
playing 6 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Yeah. This is the life. Just relaxing by the beach. What could be better than this?
I've got an idea.
What?
I'd really like to find a forever home.
Forever home?
Yeah, like Jack Ryan talks about on Easton News. A forever home. All those animals at the APCSM, they get forever homes. Why not us?
Listen, man, I hate to tell you this.
Tell me what? Come on, tell me. Look, I can take it. Look at me. Come on, tell me. I can take it. Come on.
We're not real.
What are you talking about? Of course we're real. Look at us. We're sitting here on the beach, on vacation, being served raw meat, mind you. We're having a great time. How are we not real? No, thank you. I'm good. I've had enough. I've had enough. Thank you. What are you talking about? Of course we're real.
Look, it's not that we're not real. We're just not living, breathing animals. You don't even have a mouth, dude.
Well, oh yeah? Well, your eyes are just plastic.
Right back at you.
You've ruined my vacation. I can't believe you've done this.
I mean, while we're at it, why do we need a vacation? It's not like you have a job.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right. You know what? I'm out of here.
Cubby, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Oh, well, you have to get it eventually.
If you'd like to get your hands on a cubby of your own, scan the QR code on your screen now.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words.
After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson.
as we interview poets and musicians.
Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
There's a storm.
Join me, Priscilla Almquist Olson, to explore the town of Easton and its interesting, engaging, ordinary, and extraordinary people, and meet a smorgasbord of guests, including artists, authors, musicians, business owners, community organizations, clergy, local leaders, etc., etc., etc. Community Forum at 3 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on Saturdays. See you then.
Welcome back to another segment of Service Matters. My guest here at the studio in Easton, Mass. I know we have two crowds out there today. We got the radio audience in Southern New England, and we got the TV audience here in the Easton Sharon area. And you were talking about the military, and we're very proud of our son-in-law, who happens to be a 2-star general, U.S. Marine Corps, and very dedicated. I got to tell you, Congressman, I can't stand beside him because his shoes are so shiny, and he stands at attention. The fact is that we're very proud of what he's done in the Marine Corps, and he had an opportunity to get a 3rd star, and there was a senator who held up the promotions, so that's been on kind of hold. but we're
Yeah,
gonna,
he held out the promotions for everyone, not just your son-in-law.
yeah, that's right. And it's interesting, but I'd like to talk to your daughter, if I may, about real estate. You had a question you wanted to ask her. Go ahead.
Well, I think that a question on the part of so many people, and particularly, I think what Kristen, a special, way she relates now to people is because of her age and the fact that even though she's been doing this for several years, she's still young and understands how generationally the difficulty exists for people getting their first home. People want equity, and it's so hard, and there are a lot of issues, and it's difficult. But I think Kristen's message has always been to keep looking, keep trying to work with people, because even people that have come to her and other real estate agents that have given up hope, they find their house. But it does really help to have someone working with you to make you realize. I'm giving her a speech for her, so I won't. But maybe, Kristen, you can share some of the tips you give to people who come to you and they don't think they can find a home in that price range. They're almost at the point of giving up, and tell them how important it is to keep trying.
You never want to give up. I mean, there's a home, there's something for everyone out there. It's just a matter of being patient, understanding, and getting creative and trying to expand upon your buying power, having an agent in your corner to help you find off-market possibilities and get creative with the competition for on-market properties. So you just
one thing I like
stay
about
the course.
Kristen, it's not just about selling homes. It's about the way she handles the customers. She does it with dignity. She has a smile on her face, and she's there to help. And I think that's something special that makes her the real estate agent that she is.
Well, thank you,
And
Dave.
of course, a lot of that comes from your mother and father.
Absolutely.
I'd like to also shout out a greeting to your brother.
Yes.
Former retired detective with the Town of Sharon Police Department. And of course, it was a family that was well known, not just in the Town of Sharon, but that spread like wildfire as you took all these positions. I never saw anyone climb the ladder as fast as you did, Congressman Bill Keating.
Dave, I was 23 years old when I started knocking on doors in Sharon, in the town of Foxborough at the time. And a lot of people gave me a chance because if you think about it, the biggest issue when I was running back then was my age. A lot of people said, well, you're running for state representative. Why don't you work on selectmen or something else first and work your way up? But people gave me that chance. And I impart that with young people. I go into the schools a lot. Today, for Rotary people that are listening in particular, I was in the Upper Cape School with students there. Rotary had dedicated 3 peace poles in the town of Bourne, another one occurring in Sandwich a little later. And, the students there who helped create the horticultural students did all the landscaping within 2 weeks. And they built a nice granite and area that people could sit and reflect and look from there up and see the Bourne Bridge in the distance.
Oh, that's
as they do it.
terrific.
And the peace poles and that Rotary project, which is international, and it started after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but it spread through the whole world, is an
Let me
opportunity.
just mention this to you, Bill. Your former hometown, Sharon, Massachusetts, did 7 peace poles.
Yes.
They had a special dedication down by Lake Massapog, and it's something that's very special. I'm going to give both you and Kristen an opportunity to make some final comments, and then I'll invite my other guest in. Congressman Bill Keating, so happy to be able to have you on the air. You got a wild schedule. It's election time, but you found time to join me with your daughter, and I'm forever grateful for that. I'm forever grateful for all the memories that you brought to your community in Norfolk County. The Cape now has you as their congressman, but we know where your original hometown was, Sharon, Massachusetts. Any final comment, Congressman?
I'll tell this. You really brought to mind a thing that's kind of special. We bought our house, Tevis and myself, 27 years ago on the Cape. But I never thinking that I would ever be representing it in Congress, frankly. Things happen. But what's really interesting when you talk about our old friends in Sharon, what it was like growing up, and the families, Kristen's age and Patrick's age that we got to know in Sharon, so many of them, it just blows me away, honestly, now live on the Cape. So I'll come across people and I'll recognize them and see them. It happens every day down here. Or someone will come up to me and say, I remember you represented, and people from Easton, people from your listening area right now, they will come up to me and say, oh, you used to be my state senator. You were my state representative. And that connection is there. And it's really interesting.
You were my waterfront gate guard.
I don't know. Those people probably, the ones that I let in were happy. The ones that I couldn't let in probably, I still remember that somehow. But I'll tell you, it's been a great opportunity generationally to see this and to see the generations. Kristen's generation, a lot of them are down here too.
Keep up the good work in Congress. We love you, William R. Keating.
Well, there you go, Dave. Thanks for giving me a shot as a gate guard. There you go. From gate guard to Congress. So for anyone out there, remember there was a gate guard. That can take you anywhere.
Congressman, you were the only guy that I hired that couldn't swim.
Well, I left that out.
Anyways, Kristen, a final comment.
Dave, thank you so much for giving my father and I the opportunity to come on air together. What a thrill. That was fun. And just to piggyback off my father's sentiments, Sharon was a special place, a wonderful place to grow up. As he sees many people from Sharon migrating to the Cape, my age, upper 30s into their 40s, I see many people I went to school with land here in Easton, back to their home base. But Easton's just a little more affordable, lower taxes, you get more bang for your buck. So
that's what people do today. They come back to their community because it's an opportunity for them to give back, to say thank you.
And they follow Dave Clifton, I guess, too.
They follow Dave Clifton.
And I just wanted to say to you, Congressman, that you truly emphasize and exemplify the spirit of what was said many times. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of helping others. Folks, that's Congressman William R. Keating. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take another break. I'm Dave Clifton. Thank you for joining us here on Service Matters. We'll be back.
At ECAT, we're here to keep you connected and involved in the community. On ECAT, you can explore the town with Gail Devins.
Hello, I'm Gail Devins, and welcome to our show, Discover Easton.
Tell your story with Harrison Young on Topic Time.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young.
Learn something new with the Ames Free Library. Relax with the Ron Van Dam Show.
Ron Van Dam Show, that's who I am. I'm Ron Van Dam. Thank you so much.
Check in on the latest in live town meetings.
2022 Select Board meeting, and Happy New Year.
Stay up to date with Oliver Ames High School news and live sports.
Tiger Talk.
Share your thoughts on the community forum.
Welcome to Community Forum.
And listen to some exciting new music. So stay connected with Easton Community Access Television.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Sick of all the new shows and movies dominating pop culture? Well, have no fear, because Old Time Movie and Old Time TV are here, where we like to add our own flair.
There's a truck out front, and if we could just get the keys.
Man, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Those are flesh-eating zombies. They upended our car, okay? We're lucky to be alive, especially Joe. I had to pull him out of the trunk, for crying out loud.
It's been a long day.
Also, make sure to check out the Radiocast, our accompanying podcast where we talk about what we've watched.
There was a lot of moments of just Mac on the raft going down the river, just internal monologuing over and over and over.
We show the classics and nothing but the classics. Well, except for the weird ones. Check us out on all our channels as well as our YouTube.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I'm Abby Malafato.
And I'm
Coming to you from 50 Oliver in North Easton, this is Easton News and
Don't have time to stay up and watch ECAT channels all day long, or miss your favorite show's time slot? Don't worry, ECAT has a YouTube channel that has all the programs that we show, so you don't have to miss any of the episodes or catch up on past episodes. Search Easton Cat TV, with TV being the only capital letters. The YouTube channel has playlists for every program, even some of the programs you can download a podcast version. We even stream live events through our channel. To stay up to date with ECAT programming, make sure you look up ECAT's YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get all the alerts for the new programming premiere, and change the alerts to all to make sure you receive all of them. Remember to search Easton Cat TV, with TV being the capital letters. So there's no reason to miss any of the ECAT programming. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Service Matters, a weekly radio show that covers all the good things that happen in local communities throughout southern New England. A nice thank you also to Congressman William R. Keating and his daughter joined us on the air today. I have another special guest. His name is Justin Lewinter, and of course it's an honor for us to have him. He happens to live at the oldest home in Easton, Massachusetts, 1717. Can you imagine going back that far? Here the town is celebrating its 300th anniversary. This home is located at 479 Southeastern Mass. That's 02375. If you want to send our guest a birthday card. The fact is that this is a home, and I've been in it, folks. It's a colonial-style home, 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an attached barn with a workshop. It has 5 working fireplaces. Most homes are lucky to have 1. A roof cedar, shakes and metal, corn crib, detached, model 18th century farm. That's what it is. Conservation land on both sides of the house. And get this, an Origin indoor outhouse. And I was in there to see that. I was amazed. It's the same one that was there years ago.
Yeah, the same outhouse that was built when the house was built.
So Justin, I wanted you to start off by first of all, letting me thank you for joining us here on WPRO.
You're very welcome.
And of course, ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. You've been on the TV side before.
I have.
You got your costume on. And of course, you are the owner of the oldest home in the town of Easton. Tell us about the history of that house.
Sure, absolutely. The home was built by Josiah Keith in 1717. He was one of the eldest sons of James Keith, who happened to have been the first reverend of the town of Bridgewater. James Keith came over here in the early 1600s. He was sent up to Harvard to be educated and somehow fell under the direct tutelage of Increase Mather, Cotton Mather's father. He was the president of Harvard at the time. James Keith had his parsonage in Bridgewater and was involved in many events from King Philip's War to the Salem witch trials, during which time the Keith family maintained a family friendship with the Mather family. James Keith would have had his eldest son, Josiah, follow him around and attend to his business with him. So the man who built my house was witness to some events in American history that, are talked about for...
Let me ask you a question, Justin. Have you been able to maintain the house?
I have.
With its original look?
I have. The house kind of sits as it does now in probably 1790, 1800 to like 1820 time period. The family who lived there prior to me, the DeWare family, Scott and Melanie did a very good job at restoring the house, so much so that they won the Easton Award for Preservation. And Scott used the workshop that he had rebuilt in the house that was originally a farrier's shop to expose some of the fireplaces that had been bricked up and boarded up. He rebuilt some of the windows, the lead glass windows, which the original windows to the house happened to sit at the Old Colony Museum in Taunton. And they're the only remaining example of leaded glass windows because the majority of them were melted down for musket balls during the Revolution.
Tell me about that outfit that you have on and show the viewing audience, and I know the radio audience can only hear this, but also show us what the hat looks like.
Absolutely. Right now I'm dressed as someone who, a young gentleman in 1750 to 1770-ish. Styles change like they do today, every few years. And yes, I'm dressed as someone who would have not been wealthy, but, a middling type of person.
I know that
middle-class person.
People in the town of Easton are going to be celebrating their 300th anniversary. Can you imagine? It's 1725 to 2025, 300 years of service. And of course, lots of history in the town of Easton when you see all of the historic buildings in town.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he looks like with the hat on. And at some point in time, we're going to be announcing the possibility of a couple of open houses at your facility.
Yeah, the plan is we'll do an open house, and hopefully we'll have an event at Borderlands, and we can do a reenactment. And I'm trying to get some other reenactors together so we can join in the parade as well. That's planned for later on in the year. It would be my pleasure to, open the house to the town and, allow the people that live here now to experience what it would have been like when the town was first incorporated. Because I'm trying to keep the property what it would have been like. And I'm fortunate enough, like you said, I happen to be in conservation land, and I have pictures dating back to the 1880s, 1890s, and not much has changed. Not much has changed at all.
It's interesting. My wife took a photograph of your front door. That was a door that, when it went on new, was a big deal back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
And she won first prize in a contest because of that door.
She did, and I'm gonna take that picture and I'm gonna frame it and hang it up in the house so it can remain with the history of the house. Because although I am the owner and proprietor of the Josiah Keith House, which I run as an inn, a traditional bed and breakfast, I'm only living there temporarily, and it's part of our cultural heritage.
Some photos of the house and some of the rooms that we're going to edit our show today to make sure you can see those photographs. But again, it's called the Joshua Keith House.
Josiah.
Josiah.
Not a common name anymore.
Yeah. And it goes back to 1717.
1717.
And
well before we were even a town.
My gosh. In 479 Bay Road, Southeastern Mass.
Bay Road. Bay Road happens to be one of the oldest post roads in the country. And it was originally the only way to get from Newport, Rhode Island to Boston. So it made sense when they built the house to turn it into an inn, and it happens to be the second oldest inn in the United States.
And of course, if you're looking for history, the Easton Historical Society, led by their president, as well as a gentleman in town by the name of Ed Hands.
Ed Hands as well. Yeah.
He can speak to a crowd and tell you about the history.
Oh, he can. And he knows more than I do.
And
'cause he's-
Ken Michael was the president of the Historical Society. Both these guys are going to be very active with the 300th anniversary celebration. But here's a photo of the year that's on the house. And if you could see a close-up of this, you get a pretty good idea of that being on the house. That caught my eye when I first went to the house to knock on the door.
Yeah.
I saw the sign 1717. What would you like to say? And I'm going to ask you, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back. And I want you to give some thought, if you would, Justin, to some of the things you think people would like to hear about this historic house here in the town of Easton. We'll be right back. I'm Dave Clifton.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I'm Abby Malafato.
And I'm
Coming to you from 50 Oliver in North Easton, this is Easton News and
Don't have time to stay up and watch ECAT channels all day long or miss your favorite show's time slot? Don't worry, ECAT has a YouTube channel that has all the programs that we show, so you don't have to miss any of the episodes or catch up on past episodes. Search Easton Cat TV, with TV being the only capital letters. The YouTube channel has playlists for every program, even some of the programs you can download a podcast version. We even stream live events through our channel. To stay up to date with ECAT programming, make sure you look up ECAT's YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get all the alerts for the new programming premiere, and change the alerts to all to make sure you receive all of them. Remember to search Easton Cat TV, with TV being the capital letters. So there's no reason to miss any of the ECAT programming. Enjoy. Yeah. This is the life. Just relaxing by the beach. What could be better than this?
I've got an idea.
What?
I'd really like to find a forever home.
Forever home?
Yeah. Like Jack Ryan talks about on Easton News. A forever home. All those animals at the APCSM, they get forever homes. Why not us?
Listen, man, I hate to tell you this.
Tell me what? Come on, tell me. Look, I can take it. Look at me. Come on, tell me. I can take it. Come on.
We're not real.
What are you talking about? Of course we're real. Look at us. We're sitting here on the beach, on vacation, being served raw meat, mind you. We're having a great time. How are we not real? No, thank you. I'm good. I've had enough. I've had enough. Thank you. What are you talking about? Of course we're real.
Look, it's not that we're not real. We're just not living, breathing animals. You don't even have a mouth, dude.
Well, oh yeah? Well, your eyes are just plastic.
Right back at you.
You've ruined my vacation. I can't believe you've done this.
I mean, while we're at it, why do we need a vacation? It's not like you have a job.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. All right. You know what? I'm out of here.
Cubby, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Oh, well, you have to get it eventually.
If you'd like to get your hands on a cubby of your own, scan the QR code on your screen now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, residents of Easton, friends and neighbors. This is Bill Ames, co-host with Priscilla Almquist-Olsen of the Film Connection. On ECAT now for over 20 years. We're very proud of that. And we like to interview guests from Easton who have been involved in the film business, actors, producers. We're very fortunate today to have a producer of a film.
Welcome back to the final segment of Service Matters. I'm excited about hosting this show. Not only do we have a congressman, but we got the folks who actually can talk about the history of this town, the town of Easton, Massachusetts. They have a colonial style home, dates back to 1717. Josiah Keith House.
Josiah Keith House.
A lot of history. What can you tell us that a lot of people don't know about that house?
Well, someone that has lived in that house has lived through almost every major event in early American history and American history and world history in general. As I was saying earlier, from King Philip's War up until the Civil War and Vietnam. Someone has been involved in every major event in world history, and I'm honored to be able to live in such a place. And
it's amazing. When I went to visit your house, I had with me Dale Kerister from Easton. He had a duck most of the time because you can tell it's an older house because of the low ceilings.
Oh yeah, so they kept the ceilings very low to maintain heat in the house. And
you see, the Celtics could never live
Oh
there.
no. The funny thing is that Josiah Keith III, I have the militia, the muster rolls from the militia, and it states how much money they made, where they lived, their eye color, their height. Josiah Keith III, man, was 6'3", so he must have been like Dale, hitting his head every time he walked in and out of a door in that house. And it's kind of funny, from when the house was built in 1717, within those 2 generations, the bounty that they were able to produce through grazing of cattle and planting all sorts of crops, the average man grew a few inches in height and became, the average life expectancy extended about 20 years.
What about around the property? I know it's conservation land, but do you have a pond there, a stream?
Yeah, I've got a creek that runs through the property from the sawmill pond that was built across the street. The family who built the house, the Keiths, were involved in livestock grazing. They had about 500 or 600 head of cattle. They had a sawmill. So a lot of the houses in the town from that period probably used the Keith's mill, at least in South Easton. I know there was another mill in North Easton, close to where we are right today.
Are there any other homes in the town of Easton that go back that far?
Oh yeah, we've got the Wheaton house across from Wheaton Farm in the preservation as well. There's a few other in the north side of town. Another Keith house is still standing. Would have been Josiah Keith's brother. And one of his son's houses still stands. The Williams family and a bunch of the Ames family's houses still stand in Easton. We're very fortunate in this town, whereas a lot of where I come from on Long Island in New York, a lot of the historical buildings have just been demolished, for advancement. And
so I know that the anniversary committee appointed by the select board with hundreds of volunteers that we hope to get involved as the days get closer to 2025. And on our list is to do some tours at your home.
Oh, I love it.
Of course, it sounds like I'm inviting us, but
well, I keep the house open to the public.
You have opened the door up for the public.
Right now, I just ask that people call and make an appointment beforehand, just because I have projects I'm working on.
We're hoping that your contacts can reach out to having a demonstration at Portland State Park.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This will help as well. Hopefully, anyone that hears this and sees this and knows someone who's a reenactor can either reach out to you or me or Dale, anyone who's involved with.
Do you have an email address or a telephone number?
I do. It's josiahkeithhouse@gmail.com, and my phone number is
631-456-6439.
That's correct.
Any final comment before we go off the year?
Yeah, I'm super excited about everything that's going to be coming up in the next year and to be involved with it, and I'm super grateful for it, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and talk about something that I love and that the town is interested in preserving and maintaining. And
Well, I know that the radio station salutes you, and that's what we do. We
Thank you.
talk about good things that are happening in local communities here in southern New England. And the
That's why
fact
I'm-
that you jumped in to handle the house, it's
yeah.
almost like you're doing it on behalf of the community.
I love the fact that I moved here from New York, which is very overpopulated. There's a lot of people, and there's no community. But here in Easton, we have a very tight-knit community, and it's everyone has been very welcoming and warm and loving, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to have moved to.
And I've been saying that Easton, Massachusetts is a great place to live, to work, and to enjoy. It's a community filled with history.
It is.
And it starts right at this Keith house, dating back to 1717. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you.
Thank you.
For joining us, Justin. And we'll talk later as we get closer to the 300th anniversary. A big thank you and shout out to Congressman William R. Keating, who joined us on the first part of the show. His daughter, Kristen Keating, who is a real estate broker here in the town of Easton. And we say to everybody out there, go forth to serve, do it with a smile on your face. And if you're going to do something good, like Justin is doing, do it with the dignity that it deserves. That song that you're going to hear as we close our show is What a Wonderful World. And what a wonderful world it is because of people like yourself.
Oh, thank you. That
who
means a
have,
lot, Dave. Thank you.
Preserve the history here in the town of Easton. Folks, have a terrific weekend, and our hearts go out to all the Floridians for dealing with this storm. This has been a production of ECAT, Easton Community Access TV, and of course our radio station, WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. Thank you.